Maybe this is nothing more than exercise in the importance of verification, and I mean that. So I don't know how not to do this. I don't have enough subscribers for this to get out to anyone relevant. I do have a video with my face in it. I don't like to record myself, but I did leave one for that very purpose, and it's very related to this topic. To solve a larger problem once, many months ago, say 9 months to a year ago, I lost track. It's hard to keep up with time when you're kind of homeless or temporarily homeless. I invested in one product and might have invested in another. At the time, I didn't know. I didn't know about the prevalence of fentanyl. I really did not. Had no idea. It's irrelevant because, again, cops, you can come pick me up. I have no names to give because nothing can be verified. This is all potential. I'm merely doing this, but it maybe is a warning to those who don't understand. My sister is a nurse practitioner. She knew a patient that never recovered from smoking a joint that he assumed was just a joint. I'm not sure what was in it, but he went psychotic. He hallucinated. Never fully grasped sense of reality again. To this date, I don't know if the boy has. No reason to think he has. It was severe. It was severe. He hallucinated, could not get in touch with reality from a mere joint. Point is, there are no street drugs that are safe anymore with the onslaught of fentanyl. And what I'm saying is, I put it at potentially, this is a potential, potentially $1,000 into buying a product, which I don't know why Adderall's on the shelf. So I've only taken Adderall twice, but the second time I took it, the clearing of the sinuses and breathing was so miraculous, I have no idea why it's not on the shelf. You have Benzodrex on the shelf, which can destroy a person. Practically did me, yet you're not even carded for it. But caffeine pills, you will be. I do not, this ain't about, I'm just saying I don't, alcohol sold in the stores, I don't, and cigarettes, I don't get the justification of that, especially the cigarettes, yet. So I don't come from that perspective. I do not feel tremendous guilt about the product I was buying, though it varied enough that maybe I should. But the product I was buying was to solve a problem I thought was urgent. Was not solving the problem. It was urgent. I gambled. That is what this is about. I violated my own rule. This is about me. I broke my own rule that I would never have done in my 20s, let's say 30s. Years ago, I violated my own protocol by gambling that no one could be harmed. And the point I'm trying to make is, I don't even request. You put me in American jail, you put me in American jail. It might be the price to pay to get those who call themselves the living souls, the gurus, the ones with endless advice about how you solve the problem of evil is just not considerate. Well, I know there was evil because apparently I committed it. Potentially. This ain't to solve myself. I have no verification. I can't give you a name. Do not come after me about a name. I will not give you a name. I have no names to give. I never received profit. And the product I received, I don't know if it came from that. I mean, but the problem is my guilt would be so much more severe than the person I gave the money to. It's astronomical. I didn't even bother to verify what I put my $1,000 into. And it was a little over $1,000 maybe, because, I'm just trying to make clear, it was at least $1,000 in pure, supposed to be in pure product. Now, the reason why doesn't matter. The point is, I cannot verify whether someone has died. Since it takes only 2 grains of salt of fentanyl to kill someone, and I would say even worse, to survive with significant brain damage or any brain damage at all. I've almost stopped breathing once, and I thought it was me, and it might have been me. It might have been me slowing myself down. It might have been all been me doing something else, but this is months ago. I just recently realized that might have been fentanyl. While I laid in bed and just almost stopped breathing. I was trying to do something else with it. I might have used it to my advantage. It doesn't matter. The point, I'm not asking for forgiveness. Forgiveness is irrelevant. Forgiveness, the forgiveness I'd seek cannot come from anyone but the people I harmed. It's no one's else's business but the people I potentially harmed. Now, point is, I have no, until it can be verified that I haven't killed, I'm gonna flip it from innocent to proven guilty to guilty till proven innocent. I have to be guilty to proven innocent, because I cannot verify that no one died from my investment. Regardless of what I was trying to do with it, I gambled to potentially profit off a lethal substance. Now, did I buy? I have no idea if I bought any fentanyl. I have no idea. I have no idea if I bought anything. This is true. And this is what the person, anyone wants to get me on indicting. I refuse to indict, because that would mean I concede to evil existing outside of the evil that I did at least one time. And of course we all do wrong, but I'm talking about not evil with an E-V-I-L. The evil that I committed by flippant disregard for potential. Because yes, though amphetamine I've had miraculous results, I would think, or they seemed to be at the time, it varied so much that alone was a gamble. Not necessarily death, but it was a gamble that I'm not harming a vulnerable living soul. And I have the internet has given me every paradigm in the world to excuse myself. Every paradigm. The beings I could have harmed are soulless, they're NPCs. It'll all come out in the wash, and in a sense, like, you got to forgive yourself, and that's all that matters. That does not apply. All that matters is, did I interfere with someone's destiny in the earth plane? On the earth plane. Did I prevent someone from meeting his wife, having their child? Did I interfere? Did I interfere with a Jesus being born? A Mother Mary? A Rosa Parks? A Julius Erving? To me, this would mean. Julius Erving means more to some other figures. I mean this literally, meaning I've had to get myself numb. I've waited as long as I could. My sister just got back from her wedding. Please, if you have to come pick me up, do it like after midnight or something while my sister's asleep. Do not put it on a fanfare. But I have nothing to give you. I have no part of this. I'll be no part of street drugs because of that one chemical that's added. Since fentanyl has entered the game, which I can't assume anyone knew. I cannot assume that was ever the case. I don't know if I've ever taken fentanyl, but the way it got in the last few months of me taking it, it sounds like that might have been what was going on. Very high chance. And so it's none of this lofty stuff. None of that matters. Nothing matters. And I have no rights on the earth plane at the moment until I'm verified that I have not taken away the rights of another. That's all there is to it. It has nothing to do with anything else. I go back to where I need to go back from where I came. Now, is it worth me going to the ineffectiveness of the business institutions of Earth Prison that don't allow enough sunlight, or don't have nothing else, enough sunlight, or walking barefoot, to try to heal the person, to try to help them. I mean, to heal the person that doesn't, I mean, obviously the Earth prisons don't work, but is that the risk I'm taking? Well, I mean, I am really. Me and my friends were taken to jail one time, returning from Florida, just doing nothing. One was just merely sleeping in jeans and no shirt, and was taken to jail. Would have been for the whole weekend, 3 whole days, but he got bailed out. But without that, did nothing. Was asleep, taken out of bed, asleep. And not even allowed to put on a shirt, taken to jail. I don't even know if he had shoes on. I've been told the FBI was called on me because a friend was missing, and for some bizarre reason, they thought I might have killed him or might have kid. I don't know what. I mean, I have no idea. This was a few years ago, but I have been told the FBI has been called on me. I have no idea why that would even be considered. This person barely knew me, is maybe why. I don't know. That's no excuse. There's no any sign I gave why you would think I would kill the person missing or do anything to anyone like that. I have no justification. I'm just saying this is a real risk I'm taking. So to highlight the points of verification, when I say, when I say stop giving me, when I ask the gurus and the supposed living souls, stop giving me this is a simulation. This is a game. A lot of these people are projections of your consciousness. They're not really real. They're NPCs. Well, I'll ask is verify that. I mean, last I heard, slavery was all-time high. That includes, and a lot of that's our children, and it's sex and labor. If it's, a lot of times both. Something that serious has to be verified. And is that why no one will verify? Because I won't verify? If that's the ploy I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. It's not to indict any other individual. For I have no evidence that anything was ever purchased. But there was no intent on either, no discussion of buying two products. There was one product which I would say used safely many times. Safe enough, for me. I can't say enough for anyone else, but like this stuff is, when someone told me street weed has a little coke, a little meth, and a little fentanyl, believe it. I may have evidence of something severe from what my sister, nurse practitioner, has verified happened a few years ago. She's witnessed it. I've never heard anyone else tell a story like that. There's no reason to think my sister's lying. She isn't lying. So whatever, there is no ploy here. You cannot indict me. I'd rather there not be evil. So why would I want to, as soon as I indict an entity, that means I'm wanting, as soon as I indict any entity, that's like, I'm conceding to allowing evil in a sense. So I cannot indict because I'd rather this be all a game. I'd rather this be the veil of Maya. This is an illusion. The veil be lifted and we'll see this was done harmlessly for a greater lesson. I certainly, for there to be no evil, certainly hope it's the case. But I cannot verify that. And child rape, slavery, sodomy, taken off the streets within 48 hours, running home away at 13, and then longing for death from her captors, for she lacks the courage to kill herself by 14. And it's disgusting. I have to say lacks the courage. That's a further indictment on herself. As I've said many times, there's no getting around that. That is too serious to not verify. And is the reason no one that I demand or ask verification for, well, is this why? Because I won't verify my crime? I'm verifying my potential crime. I have to say potential but to not indict the other person. I don't know if anything was ever purchased. That entity gets to be the hero. Because I can't look into my daughter's eyes. I don't have a daughter. But at the moment, I am cut off from all rights on the earth plane. And that's all that matters, because that's the way, I've never understood there's certain crimes where, why do we not, why don't we execute those that would want to be executed? There's certain things where everyone says there's no such thing as death. Well, if there's certain things, if you do on the earth plane, you should have the right to exit and go back home and regroup, get forgiven, talk to those, however this works, however y'all look at it. Obviously, that's pure logic. Why would you make someone suffer the guilt and the automatic disqualification of any rights on the earth plane? So I don't have a wife, I don't have a child, But if I were going to, I have eliminated all rights just by not being able to verify I haven't killed someone by my chemical investment. And I hate to use, make that sound, but it's just like a heartless corporation. Just because I've had good experiences from a chemical doesn't mean it's not harmful. But yet, again, I do not come arrest me. Sorry about that. Asking for names. None of this can be verified. I'm telling you, I'm trying to highlight the importance of how critical verification is. And a person can't just shift consciousness, consider there is no evil, and just go to their private island, go to the isolated reality, because that's what this whole realm entices to do anyways. Don't worry about it. Leave the inner cities, run out to your suburbs, pet your lawn, and we'll prostitute your young children on the streets in the inner city. That's not, that's not acceptable. That, I mean, some of us just cannot do that. I can't sleep with, I got the song, How Do We Sleep When Our Beds Are Burning? It's like, I've never forgotten it. How do we sleep when our beds are burning? I have enough, so me personally, I really can't put down roots here for that very reason alone. But now that I may have joined the destruction, and the point is, if I that's what I'm trying to do. The point is, anything I'd want to do here on the earth plane has just been eliminated by me not being able to verify that I haven't killed by an investment I made inadvertently. I mean, that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with it. And I'm not talking, no, I haven't physically killed. Get this straight. I'm saying I might have invested in something that could have collapsed someone's lungs and damaged their brain and killed them. But none of anyone I know, I never knew, none of us would have thought that there was another chemical in there if it was ever purchased. Understand that. If. I have no idea if it was ever purchased. Point of what I'm saying is, I may have purchased something. I may have been purchasing one product and bought two. And at 2 grains of salt-sized fentanyl, it looks just like amphetamine, meth, and it looks just like heroin. At least according to the internet. So I'm just saying, potentially, I could have bought pure $1,000 worth of fentanyl, and I have no idea that I didn't. So, it's gonna haunt me. I'm not gonna be able to let go of it. I'm not going to be able to let go. Until I can verify. I mean, I don't know how to verify that. I ain't saying it's more. It's not. I say that's more important. I guess what I'm saying is, it's not obviously not more important than verifying that there's no more child slavery on the earth anywhere, not one. But I'm not saying obviously that. I'm saying, like, I'm willing to take the consequences of what I'm doing now, which are real, to entice those that have the power to verify or to do something about the child slavery condition on the earth right now. I have no other choice. But even if that is verified, I still have no rights here on earth at the moment, because I might have taken someone else's destiny away from them. And though I'm not crying when I say this time, because when I woke up with this, one day that I remember, like, oh, that might be why I've been telling people I'm dead, and I'm not morbidly depressed. I'm dead. And it's been about 9 to 10 months, and I finally remember, well, might be about the time that investment fell through, and when I didn't receive any profit from it, I took that as a sign that, yes, you got your answer. You did evil. So I don't do I take it that way and try to verify it ain't about anything else, then I cannot have the rights that I would need, that I can't have the rights that I need on earth if I've taken them away from someone else. I could not possibly look into my daughter's eyes, much less my son's. And I hate to say that there should be any difference, but as a male, that's what got me. I had to get to the state of where I was, not crying to present this, because it would seem insincere if I cried at that point where, can't look into my daughter's eyes. I don't even have a daughter. But that's what made it real to me. That's why I'm doing this, because for the day that I woke up with this, every time I thought about that, I couldn't handle it. Every time that thought came to me that I could not look into my daughter's eyes, this situation was real as real as anything I've experienced. It's probably the realest day I've had on earth. And I don't want to say. I mean, if nothing else, kids, do not get involved in this. Whatever was going on previously is not going on now. There's a chemical introduced that is so toxic that you cannot afford. You do not want to do anything that would prevent you one day to look into your daughter's or your son's eyes. You don't want to do it. Do not risk it. It's maybe, that's half of this. Maybe that's the point. The other half would be highlighting the importance of verification. And I have it personally, like, if there's no evil, then there's no they. Well, for a day, I was evil and I was a they, potentially. And I think the only, what I've opened the door for, like, there is a hero. The person that someone else would think I'm indicting, or they or themselves think I'm indicting them, like, exact opposite. This is your opportunity to, like, yes, I covered your ass. I knew this would happen, or like I made sure that you wouldn't one day wake up and realize what you might have potentially done. So I don't know that, but potentially, anyone that's done this, potentially, I could have bought a lot of fentanyl for $1,000, potentially, that kills at 2 grains of salt sized at a time. Please heed my warning.